Hello everyone, my name is LawrenceTsang. I'm the Senior Geologist of AscotResources. First of all, thank you Sean and the BC Geological Survey for inviting Ascot and myself to present at the Rock Talks this year. And thank you everyone for listening to my presentation. I believe this is such a great opportunity for myself and Ascot to share some of our observations and knowledge to everyone about our projects. Here is the cautionary statement. This presentation contains forward-looking statement. I believe most of you guys has seen this, read this many times, but again, please take the time to go through it. AscotResources, our premier and Red Mountain Gold projects are located in the southern regions of the BC Golden Triangle area. We hold a significant land package of about 25,000 hectares. Our recent feasibility study and mine plan incorporated 4 key deposits. They are the Big Missouri, the Silver Coin, the Premier, and the Red Mountain. Our project is located near the town of Stewart. We have road access from the town of Stewart directly connected to our mine site of the Premier deposit. It takes about 25 to 30 minutes drive to the site. Also, the town of Stewart has a deep seaport and has a great workforce with great experience in the mining industry. Today's presentation, I'm going over a few high exploration targets we drilled in the 2020 programs. Here, I'm going to go over a geological overview of the Premier mineralization. The Premier mineralization is a world-class intermediate sulfidation epithermal system with 2 million ounces of gold of historic production. It has a vertical extent of mineralization close to 300 meters. As you can see, it's got great deep length to the mineralized structures. The high-grade gold occurrence and showings covers over a strike length of 20 kilometers from the south to the north, which I will show you in the next slide. It is a structurally controlled coarse gold mineralization in cross-fracture and stockwork hosted by andesitic volcanics and subvolcanic intrusion. This cross-section on the right is a typical cross-section of the Premier deposit looking to the northeast. It's hosted in the andesite, and there's a hematite altered andesite to dacite flow and flow fracture sits on the top, intruded by a high-level intrusion locally called the Premier porphyry. It is a megacrystic 2 feldspar intrusion. The Premier deposit glory holes was discovered along the contact of the Premier porphyry and the andesite. And as you can see by the black polygons highlighted along the contacts here of the upper portion of the mineralized structures, most of the historical minings follow the contact of the Premier porphyry and andesite. And that exploration models holds true for a long time, was to find Premier porphyry and then follow contacts, and you will find more mineralization. However, as you can see, with the Ascot drilling, we have extended the deep length of the mineralized structures extensively. And not only that, we found that we don't necessarily need the Premier porphyry contact to find gold mineralizations. As long as we sit within these mineralized structures or the cross-fracture or the stockwork corridor, we have good chance of finding gold mineralization. And this structure is still open at depth and towards the west and northwest directions. And later on, one of our 2020 exploration targets was the Premier West Zones, which is located here. We follow the same exploration model in Big Missouri and Silver Coin, and we also had success finding more gold mineralization. Most of our gold are accompanied by pyrite, sphalerite, granite, and chalcopyrite. As you can see on the bottom left side, the figure shows a typical cross-fracture bodies of the Premier deposits. We got andesite fragments within, and it typically has low arsenic, antimony, bismuth, and mercury. This is a kind of like plan view of the premier properties. Uh, for our 2020 exploration program, we focused it on 4 exploration areas. In total, we drilled it close to 20,000 meters. We also implemented our COVID-19 protocols, and we are glad that we operated our field program safely all season long. We had, out of the 4 targets, 3 of them are near mine success, including the Premier West, the Woodbine, and the Day Zones. And then a new emerging target area is the Silver Hill. The Silver Hill area is a little bit different than the Big Missouri area, the Silver Coin, and the Premier. The Silver Hill area mainly is situated in younger formation rocks like the Dillsworth formations and the Bowser's formations. In comparison to the other deposits, they are mostly hosted in the Battle Creek formations. So I'm going to start talking about the Premier West first, and then the Woodbine, and then we're going to move up to the north to the Day Zones, and then the Silver Hill. The Premier West is a near mine success story. The Premier deposit sits right here, and we drilled at the Premier West extension right here. It's a very convenient locations. As you can see, we have on-site existing infrastructures like the mill building, the tailings storage facility, a water treatment plant. We got the Grand Duke Road access, and we also have the power plant sitting on top of the power zone. The power zone was defined by the Westmin. It was noted that it has similar mineralization and grade in comparison to the Premier deposit. For a long time, it was speculated the power zone was a continuation of the Premier deposit, but not enough drilling has been done to really draw the connections. However, with our 2020 program drilling, we are now more confident and comfortable to draw the connection between the power zone and with the Premier West deposit. To the left here is a typical Premier West core. Is with massive pyrite and locust valerite granina hosted in breccias in the sericite alto andesite. This particular 1.35 meters core runs about 97.6 gram per ton gold and 72.9 gram per ton silver. And also after we drilled it and found this extension with the same exploration model from the previous cross sections, we now think we have a great exploration opportunity to follow the down dip extension of the entire Premier deposit. Here are some of the drill results highlight from the Premier West drilling from the 2020 seasons. The core pictures from the previous slide runs about 97.6 gram per ton gold for 1.35 meter, and the entire interval runs about 13.74 gram per ton gold and 50.6 gram per ton silver over 24.15 meters. And other holes including 9.21 gram per ton gold over 6 meter, 20.06 gram per ton gold over 3.23 meters, 15.75 gram per ton gold over 4.5 meters. And noted that they are all mineable grade with mineable widths. This area is close to our existing reserve and mine plan, and we think we have a great chance to adding proximal ounces to our resources and eventually to our reserve very rapidly. Now we're going to move across the Cascade Creek Fault. It's a regional strike slip fault running from the south to the north of the deposit. Now we're going to talk about the Woodbine area, which sits right along here. We've drilled close to 2,000 meters in 9 holes in the Woodbine area from 2 drill sites. It's a prospect with gold in surface soil anomalies with a couple historical drill holes showing some mineralizations in the area. And with the 9 drill holes, we intercepted mineralization that suggests a possible stacked zone setting like the Big Missouri deposit. Some of the highlights include 29.6 gram per ton gold and 32.7 gram per ton silver over 1.73 meters, 1.75 gram per ton gold, and 148.3 gram per ton silver over 8.7 meters. And in the Woodbine area, as you can see, we drilled it from the two sites, and you can see we still have great exploration opportunity to the northwest and the southeast. One of the sites is especially very exciting from the results from the Woodbine 02 pad. We drilled that along great soil anomalies, and we intercepted shallow mineralization that is associated with the soil anomalies. And also it suggested a moderately to gentle northwest dipping mineralized structures, which is very similar to Big Missouri. And now we are more comfortable to commit into helicopter supported exploration program to target other soil anomalies. And here's the legend for the soil anomalies. As you can see, we have a lot of over 1,000 ppb gold in soils. Beside from the soils, the host rock in the areas, the andesite and the premier porphyry, and their mineralization is hosted typically in the quartz breccia with pyrite, sphalerite, and galena. On the bottom left here, the two cores are the comparison in between the Woodbine and the Premier. When you put them next to each other, you can almost tell the difference. After talking about the Premier West and the Woodbine zones, we now move to the north, about 6 kilometers from the Premier mine. Now we look at the Day zones. The Day zone sits on the western extension of the Big Missouri. This is the S1 pit, and most of the Ascot drilling in the previous years, we focused around the eastern portion of the Big Missouri area close to the S1 pit. And all of our reserve and mine plans are situated in this area. And the Day zone has good trail access to the area and couple historical drill holes that suggested mineralization. And we used the same exploration to follow the down dip extension of the mineralized structures. And we put in 3,600 meters of drillings in 16 holes in the Day zones area. And we have intercepted 3 zones, just like the Big Missouri deposit. We think they could be the equivalent of the province, the Big Missouri, and the dip zones. However, we need more infill drilling in between to really draw that final conclusion. Again, the Day zone mineralization is hosted in quartz breccias and stockwork with pyrite, sphalerite, galena, and visible gold in the andesite. On the side, with Ascot drilling, we have defined the stratigraphy in the andesite. We found it suggested a moderately west dipping sequence, cross-cut by the mineralized structures. So, which means, in other words, if we rotate our stratigraphy back to horizontal, our mineralized structure would have a moderately to steeply dipping orientation. So here are some of the drill results and highlights from our Day zone drilling of the 2020 program. Highlights include 20.62 gram per ton gold over 4.1 meters, 54.6 gram per ton gold over 2.05 meters, 8.17 gram per ton gold over 2 meters, 9.03 gram per ton gold over 0.75 meters, 16.59 gram per ton gold over 3.62 meters, 11.33 gram per ton over 8.6 meters. And here is a picture of some visible gold in our drill course from the Day zones. Again, the results from the Day zones showing promising mineable grade and mineable width. We are confident that the day zones can be added into a resource and eventually to a reserve very rapidly. We do plan for more drilling in the upcoming season. We look forward to similar type results and to expand our Big Missouri deposit. So after we have talked about the Premier West, the Woodbine, and the day zones, now we're going to move to the northeast portion of our property, the Silver Hill area. This map is a regional geological map. As you can see, most of our deposits are hosted within this green-colored andesite Betty Creek Formation. The Silver Hill area is hosted in younger stratigraphy within the Dillsworth and the Bowser formations. Its contact has the potential to host the acid crystal mineralization, like a VMS system. Most of our geologists are very excited to work in this area. We got to look into different rock types, look into different stratigraphy as well. On the bottom left corner, there's a quartz vein outcrop found in the Silver Hill area, a quartz vein that contains electrum, polybasa, and galena. And we put in drill holes to test out the deep length and continuity of the vein at depth. And we intercepted the same type of vein at depth from hole P202211, resulting 1320 gram per ton silver over 1 meter. This type of vein, they are more associated with the tertiary dikes events. However, in a couple other drill holes in the Silver Hill area, we are seeing hydrothermal activity as signatures within the Dillsworth and the Bowser Formation. This upcoming season, we plan to do more greenfield exploration work like mappings and maybe more geophysical work to understand this area much better. Here is the summary and highlights of our 2020 exploration program, the path to added value. The 2020 exploration program delivered outstanding results. We have near mine discoveries like in the Premier West, the Woodbine, and the Day Zones area. They can be rapidly added to our resources and reserves and eventually extend our planned mine life. Again, we have a large land package in the Golden Triangle area, and around the mill, we have a great potential to discover additional ounces. We also have the opportunity for blind targets exploration under younger cover. We plan to use a three-pronged approach into the future. Number one is resource conversions. We have close to 50% of our inferred resource that can be converted into indicated to be included in a feasibility study. And we plan to do such conversion from inferred into indicated in the upcoming seasons. Number two, we're going to focus in the brownfields expansions, like in the Premier West and the Day Zones area. Those are near mine success and very easily accessible. We can easily convert these two areas into our resources numbers. Lastly, we're gonna focus in greenfields targets at the same time, like in the Silver Hill area and the Woodbine area. We're gonna do more greenfield exploration work like mapping, graph sampling, surface sampling, and even more geophysics IP. Silver Hill is definitely an exciting emerging target for our company. From the mine development highlights point of view, in the 2020 seasons, we placed a long lead item like the SAG mill and the ball mills. Last month, we also secured a $105 million US construction finance package. A couple of weeks ago, we have submitted the Premier Permit Amendment application as well. For 2021 outlook, we will continue our surface exploration drilling in the field main areas like the Premier West, the Day, and the Woodbine areas. And we have also identified a couple of new targets to follow up. At the same time, we plan to do an underground program to develop exploration drift around the S1 pit in the Big Missouri deposit area. For the 2021 season, Ascot will continue to deliver exciting news to everyone. We plan to start our construction in the later half of this year and plan to be in operation later half of next year if everything goes according to plan. Thank you so much to listening to the presentations. If you have any questions, feel free to contact us. And Christina Howe is our VPIR. Feel free to contact her anytime. Or if you have any technical question, feel free to contact myself or Lars, our VP Geoscience. We will be more than happy to answer your questions. Thank you so much.